Anthropic quietly published a 30-plus page technical guide that reframes how developers should think about building with Claude. The shift isn't subtle. They're retiring the language of prompt engineering and replacing it with something more disciplined: execution design. This isn't a rebrand. It signals a fundamental change in how AI systems should be architected at scale. The core unit Anthropic introduces is the SKILL, a structured package containing a SKILL.md instruction file, optional scripts, references, and assets. Think of it like a software module rather than a sticky note. You define a workflow once with precision, and Claude executes it consistently whether you're using Claude directly, Claude Code, or the raw API. This repeatability is what separates toys from tools. The architectural detail that deserves the most attention is progressive disclosure. A lightweight YAML front matter header tells Claude when a skill is relevant, and only then do the full instructions load. Additional files pull in only if the task actually requires them. This treats context as a finite, precious resource to be rationed strategically, not a dump bucket you fill at the start of every session. Most builders are still making the dump bucket mistake, and it's costing them performance. Anthropic uses a kitchen analogy that actually holds up under pressure. Model Context Protocol, or MCP, connects Claude to external tools and data sources. It equips the kitchen with appliances and ingredients. Skills are the recipes that tell Claude exactly how to use those tools in sequence, with best practices baked in. Without skills, a user connects a dozen MCP tools and stares at a blank prompt with no idea where to start. With skills, entire workflows trigger automatically from a simple request. The testing framework Anthropic outlines is what separates this documentation from typical AI hype material. They specify 4 concrete metrics: trigger accuracy, tool call efficiency, failure rate, and token usage per run. These are the same categories you'd track in any mature software system. The uncomfortable truth is that most AI integrations in production today are evaluated on whether they worked in a demo, not whether they perform consistently under load and across edge cases. That gap is where most AI projects quietly fail. Anyone who has maintained a complex system prompt over several months knows the creeping decay that sets in. Instructions grow longer to handle edge cases. Context windows fill faster. Behavior becomes unpredictable as different clauses interact in unexpected ways. Anthropic Skills architecture directly addresses this by packaging behavior into versioned, modular, testable units. Version control for AI behavior is a concept the industry has desperately needed, and this is one of the cleaner implementations of that idea. The deeper implication of this entire framework is a required shift in identity for developers building with Claude. You are no longer a prompt whisperer finding magic words. You are a systems engineer designing execution layers with defined inputs, outputs, failure modes, and performance budgets. Companies that make this mental transition will build AI products that scale and maintain. Those that stay in the prompt crafting mindset will keep rebuilding from scratch every time their system breaks, wondering why nothing stays stable. The shift from writing better prompts to designing better execution layers is already happening among the most serious AI engineering teams. Anthropic's guide makes that concrete with a specific architecture, testable patterns, and a vocabulary that lets teams talk precisely about what they're building. If you're working on anything beyond a one-off demo, this document is required reading. The teams that internalize execution design now will be the ones still running in production 2 years from now.